Hi there, I'm John from LiveEdgeKing.com, and today we're going to make the LiveEdgeKing.com Live Edge sign. There are quite a few steps involved with making a custom wooden sign. This here is a solid piece of live edge maple. Do a close-up of it, and you can see the bark. The bark can be left on or removed. I find for personal projects I like to keep the bark on for the signage. And this is the finished side, as you can see from the shine. And this is the unfinished side. So the first step with making a live edge sign is actually pretty straightforward, is to get the maple slab. Now in the showroom here in Niagara, we have a lot of different wood species that we can choose from. For this one specifically, I chose 1-inch maple. And the reason for that is because it provides really nice contrast with the laser. And it was already relatively flat to begin with when it comes to routering it out. So now you know how this became so flat. Let me just show it to you here. And the reason why being flat is so important is because for the next step, which involves using the laser to do the engraving on the surface of the maple, if there's a bit of a variance in the focal distance, what you end up with is a little bit more engraving or a little bit less engraving, or more burning or less in burning. Because what you have to think about it, a laser is basically a really expensive magnifying glass. And the beam is not like this, the beam is like this. So if I do laser engraving on a live edge sign, and the sign is warped like this, for instance, I'm always using the same focal result like this here, but over here I might do a little bit more burning, not as much engraving, and so forth. So there's some variance. If I have a piece of live edge that's totally flat, I get a very consistent result. Just to show you here, there are some differences on the engraving, and you can probably see that right here with the knot. And that's another thing about the laser, is that it doesn't really know where it is or how deep it is in any material. It's not like a router. When you have a router, you have a bit spinning at a consistent height all the way through, and it's always going that height. With the laser, again, it's based on the focal distance. And the laser does not adapt to the focal distance, and it does not adapt to the density of the material. So if something's more dense, it goes less deep. If it's less dense, it goes deeper. That's just the way it works. So at liveedgeking.com, we have a whole showroom full of a whole bunch of different live edge species, from poplar to maple. We have some amazing tulip. I'm just looking around at what we have here. And what's really nice about that is when it comes to custom signage like this here, you can choose what species that you want, and you can almost choose what size you want as well. There's no real limitations when it comes to flattening with our CNC router, and there's no real limitations when it comes to laser engraving with our laser. Now there are quite a few other steps involved that I'm not going to show you, and that includes originally cutting it to size, the amount of sanding that we have to do just to have a nice clean surface, because you notice that you don't see any of the traditional smoke that you normally see with lasers. And the other thing that you'll notice with the sign is that we made the whole thing here in the shop. So if you're looking for a custom live edge sign, contact us at liveedgeking.com.